Hola mi clases, mi Miss Kakamo here. Again, we are going to jump into the past perfect tense now. So the nice thing is we have some foundation with this verb tense. We've looked at how to form the present perfect tense, but now we are going to look at how to form the past perfect tense. Let's jump into our notes. So the past perfect tense is formed the same way as the present perfect tense. Only we have to conjugate that helping auxiliary verb haber, which we know from the last video means to have, not like the verb tener. Because we're working in the past now, we have to conjugate that verb haber into the past tense. But specifically, we're going to put it into the imperfect past tense. Okay? We use the imperfect conjugations of the verb haber in order to get that past perfect phrase. Okay. Ejemplos en inglés. Primero, let's do they had watched the movie. And you can hear in the wording like have or has from the present perfect. Now we're talking had. We can hear the difference in tense there. They had watched the movie versus they have watched the movie. Otro ejemplo. You had completed the homework. Okay. Y por fin, I had finished my test. All right, so let's notice what has changed here. The tense of the verb haber has changed, okay? In the present tense, when we conjugate haber, it's translating to either have or has. But when we are in the past tense, it's changing to had. And I'd like for us to just clarify here, because yes, it is going to be in the imperfect tense, but let's just jot down past here to keep that wording the same. Okay. All right, so what is the same about these phrases? We know one's present perfect, I have danced, past perfect, they had danced. What is the same? Well, it's the past participle. That second verb stays the same. Okay, we form it the exact same way. So before we can move on, it's important that we know how to conjugate the verb haber, that helping verb, which means to have, in the imperfect tense. And again, for the sake of keeping it on the same page with wording, let's jot down past. We know that imperfect is a past tense, and we have to conjugate it specifically in imperfect when we're forming this past perfect tense. So we know that for our imperfect tense endings, if you look at your yellow verb endings page, you can see that our endings for an ER, IR verb are IA. And that's what's going to happen here. So thinking back to our present perfect, where haber was very irregular, like a, as, a, hemos, habéis, an, it's actually not irregular when we're putting it in the imperfect, meaning it's going to follow all of our regular conjugating rules. So our yo form is había, accent on that I, don't forget it. Habías, había. So yes, those are the same, no typo. Habíamos, habíais, and habían. Okay? So when we put this verb haber in the past or imperfect tense, right? This is now giving us that had. That's what's making it past perfect. So remember, those past participles are formed the exact same way as we did in the present. If the verb, that's the participle verb, ends in an AR, we drop it and add ADO. And if the verb, that's the participle, ends in ER or IR, we drop that off and we add IDO. So let's look at these two examples. I had danced and they had eaten. Okay? All right, so we know in Espanol, yo is how we say I. Now we're going to conjugate our verb haber into the yo form to take care of had, which is había. And then danced is formed the same way as we formed it in the present perfect. So our verb to dance is bailar. It's an AR verb. Drop it off, the AR. And then you've got bailado. Yo había bailado. I had danced. They had eaten. En español, de se dice ellos. Okay, take care of the had, which is habían. And eaten. Pues en español, to eat is comer. It's an ER verb, which we drop off the ER ending and we add ido. Comido. All right. So we are going to pause here and do some practices as well based on the past perfect tense. Muchas gracias.